to a Combe Valley Campers Q&A live with me, Leigh. It's been a very, very, very long time since we've done this, and I'm sorry. Lots of things have gone on recently, and we've just not had the time. So it's been really, really nice to get back into it. I'm going to have to refigure out how to use the live and how to use the comments and everything else. So if you wouldn't mind, if you are watching now, I can see 4 of you in right now, which is awesome. So hello to everybody who's in so far. If you would do me a very, very quick favor, comment down below on the live, and just so I can see that they're coming through, or if I need to turn them on and everything else. There we go, first one in. We've got Andrew Parker, we've got Ross, we've got Adventure Van Life. He says, hey mate, wonderful. Hello everybody. 19 of you in, oh my gosh. And Grace as well, thank you so much for tuning in. 19 of you in. That is absolutely awesome to see you. Thank you so, so much. Oh my gosh, that's really, really cool. We've been live just over a minute and we've got lots of people in already. So let me just scroll straight through already. Everybody who's saying hi or waving. If you are watching, you are in, give us a wave, say hi, leave a comment, whatever it might be, and I'll shout you straight back out. Andrew Parker, first off, give us a wave. Ross says, did you make it back okay? Yes, I did. I'll talk about that later. Please remind me. Adventure Van Life. That's Paul and the team. He says, hey, mate. Grace says, hello. Tony, he says, all good. Marion Evans. Is that Marion Evans? Please correct me if I'm wrong. You'll learn this about these lives. I'm not great at pronouncing names, but I do try my best. Has given me a fist bump. Vicky Stevens says hi. Sandy Wilson says, give us a thumbs up. Thanks so much. James says, evening, Leigh. Andrew Thompson's given us a thumbs up. Keith Dickinson says hi. John Sear, good evening. He says, evening, it's been a while. Gary Plumley says, long time, no see. Warren's in, he says, hey, sexy, fancy seeing you here. Miriam says, yes, that's close enough. Well done. Oh, straight away, how good's this? It's excellent to see everybody, and we've got 3 thumbs up. Again, if you are watching, that really, really helps us get this live video out there. Getting a thumbs up from you guys is really, really good. And who knows, by the end of the hour-long chat that we do here, we might have some new followers, which is fantastic. For those of you who've been here a while, or people who are returning, you may remember once we had a really, really good live. We had loads of people tuning in, and by the end of it, YouTube had pushed it out. We had loads of new people, and all they wanted to do is comment on how bald I was. That bald. Okay, so that's how bald we are. John Sear has raised a fantastic first question. What are you drinking? Now, that is one of the questions we always do. Now, I am drinking today a bit of Thatcher's Haze. This is leftover from my camping trip that I've just been on with Tony Lost in a VW and with Warren from Silver Fox Builds. So yes, I'm drinking a leftover cider, still nice and cold, from my cool box, my Boothridge cool box, which is right behind me. Just cleaned that out. John is drinking a decaf coffee, he says. Keith Dickinson has given us a thumbs up. Tony says, had to go out to the van to get coffee stuff to get ready for this. Nice one, Tony. And Tony makes the best coffee, by the way. Yeah, John's... Oh, sorry, we've got Renee Pretorius. Hello from Renee and Sharon. When are you completing your conversion video of the van? Good, we're going to get straight into it, straight into the questions. That's awesome. Before we do that, Warren says, trying to extend the trip. Nice one. Yes, absolutely. So, first question to everybody, if you could please leave a comment. What are you all drinking tonight? I have chosen the Thatcher's Haze. We've already had John Sear. He's had decaf coffee. Are you on the drink? Are you on water? Are you on a nice cup of tea? Are you on some coffee? Leave it down below, and we love to do that comment. We love to read out your comments. So Gary Plumley's in, he says, Doom Bar, nice choice. Motivate, Goggy, he says, hey dudes and dudettes. He's another one of our regulars. Keith Dickinson says, red wine. Nice choice, my man, nice choice. And Ross says, flat Coke. Got a picky belly, bless you. Dean Ashley says, sat watching with a tasty pint of Shipyard. Awesome. Renee, Chardonnay wine with the wife. Good job. Good job. So back to the first question. Whilst I'm still talking, please give us comments with your drink choices. Renee says, when are you completing the videos of the build? What I think you're referring to is Dommy's T6.1 Bullet, and we know we have stopped the videos for now, and we do really apologise for that. We have 5 in the can. We have 5 there ready to go. But since we went away in August in the van, we have been solidly flat out. We left on our trip to Poland mid-August, and by the time we'd finished the holiday trip, going to the Dusseldorf camper van show, then we did Campers and Coffee, which didn't happen, sadly, because of the weather. We then did Grill and Chill, and we then did Dubs at the Farm in Wales, and that was 7 weeks of travelling, camping, working and everything else. That's with work in between. And then since that point, we've had a very, very big project in, and we just haven't had the time to dedicate to YouTube, but it's coming. It is very, very much coming. Renee says, I can't finish mine if you don't show them. We are showing them. Like I said, we've got 5 videos in the can ready to complete. And then we're going to be completing the videos, which will lead us up to Christmas, I think. How many weeks till Christmas? Something like 6 or 7 weeks till Christmas. So the project will still continue probably into the new year, and then we're moving on to other things. We've got lots to film in the next couple of weeks. We've got lots to film in the next 7 weeks before Christmas, so lots of things coming up. So yes, that's what we're going to be doing. But the next video will be out this coming Sunday, and I cannot wait. Right, so after that very long-winded answer to your question, last answer was from Dean, then Renee, Chardonnay with white wine. John says, got to compliment you on the beard, Leigh, looking very neat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's probably a little bit grabby, left over from my camping trip. But yeah, I decided to get the winter beard in for sure. Andrew Thompson says, coffee with oat milk. Nice choice. I'm a soya guy myself. Leave comments down below on how you hate milking soyas and oats. Yeah, it's hard work. Anyway, Motivate, he says sparkling water and a big fat spliff because it's not illegal here anymore. Good job, my man. Julian Martin says Birra, Moretti, and Ham Radio Mobile says evening from Scotland. And John, well, evening to you as well, Ham Radio Mobile. And John Sear says 45 sleeps till Christmas. Nice work. Ham Radio Mobile says, love my VW with its new glass I got from you. Awesome work, man. Awesome work. Which glass did you go for? Let us know, and let everybody know down in the comments as well. James says, it's been a while, mate. I had a few questions I wanted to ask you, but I've forgotten them now. Right, well, again, for those who've not watched this before, or for those who just need reminding or are new to this, what we would normally do is every Sunday we upload a video at 6 p.m. It's generally about an hour long is our YouTube video. Then we do a Q&A live with Leigh from 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. on a Sunday. And during that 8 to 9 p.m, you may or may not have watched the video. And if you have, you can ask questions about that video. Or if you just like tuning in between 8 and 9 p.m. on a Sunday, we're here with you guys to just answer your questions, have a good chat. And what these have grown into over the last sort of, I'm going to say, couple of years we've been doing these now. It's a lovely little community. There's, you know, say we've got 27 people in the comments right now, which is awesome. Sorry, 27 people viewing. We've got 7 thumbs up, loads of comments already. We've found it's turned into quite a little community. We get the regulars coming in Sunday, you chit chat between yourselves, you leave comments, people in the comments leave advice, I read it out, and it's just a lovely, lovely, lovely place to be. For a Sunday evening between 8 and 9, and we all sit down and have a drink. So cheers to you all for joining me on a Sunday at 8 p.m. Have a drink with me. Cheers. On that note, Warren says he's a rum on ice tonight. Nice work, Warren. Miriam says, Right, okay, so straight into the questions. And then we can continue talking if there's quiet times as well in the questions. Marion says 6mm or 3.4mm ply for a day van and why? So I'm going to suggest you might be talking about a transporter or a transit custom that you'd like to build into a day van. So for day vans, depending on the type of use you will be giving it, depends on the thickness of the ply we generally suggest for that. If you're somebody who is converting a panel van into a day van for light use, let's say it's got some combi seats in the back, you want to throw some light luggage in the back, and you're just trying to make the inside of the van a nicer place to be, a 3.6mm ply is absolutely perfect. It's slightly thicker than the factory stuff. It responds well if you're cutting holes in for sockets or for USBs or light switches. Same goes with the ceiling. A 3.6mm ceiling is excellent and way stronger than the factory stuff because it won't sag over time, it holds the carpet lining well, and you can pop in downlighters really well. So 3.6mm ply throughout is perfect. It's lighter weight, it's easier to bend and deal with, and it just gives a really nice finish once carpet lined or whichever lining you want to put on it. If you are creating a day van that maybe will be carrying mountain bikes or rock climbing gear or motorbiking stuff, I would suggest going with 6mm ply because it's just a bit harder wearing. You can chuck things into it without fear of it breaking, and it's just a heavier set thing. What you will find if you choose a 3.6mm ply, you can use invisible clips and push fit clips. With a 6mm ply, you can only fit the push fit clips, and even then it's quite tight, so you might find you want to screw those panels in. However, a 6mm ply is good for more roughy tufty type stuff. 3.6mm ply will cover 95% of eventualities, so it's entirely up to you. The 3.6mm is slightly cheaper, the 6mm ply is stronger. So there we go. I hope that answers your question. On to the next one. Ham Radio Mobile says slider. Oh, he's commenting. I asked him what windows he chose from us. He's had a slider, he says, and also a Safari and the barn door glass. And the VW will be a radio live stream studio. It's called the Marconi Project. Mint. If you're on Instagram, Ham Radio Mobile, leave your Instagram handle down below, and then comment maybe on our Instagram, and we'll give you a follow back. How's that, man? Julian Martin says, hi Leigh, love the videos. Can you run through the differences with the Dodo products as it's a bit confusing? Not a problem. We can do that. Let's do that. Cheers once again. Right, so Dodo mat. We've done a number of videos on Dodo mat. I've personally been using Dodo mat for, let's call it 7 years. I used to use other products from different suppliers before, but once I found Dodo mat, I stuck with it. Fantastic company, fantastic people, and we work really close with them to help you. We generally offer in our bundles a 3-layer system, and we sell it as a bundle for a medium, long wheelbase, large van, small van. And that 3-layer system comes in a sound deadener, a noise and heat absorption layer, and then a thermofleece insulation. On the flat metal panels, such as the long side of the van, you want to stick the sound deadener, which is the Dodo Hex, directly onto the metalwork. Now you can put as little or as much on as you want. I'm not going to tell you what is right, what is wrong. What we generally do is do as much coverage as possible. We have found that that is best for us and most of our customer situations. People say you shouldn't do 100% coverage. I hear you, but if we do 100% coverage of the panels we see and we can get to, generally that's only 50% of the panel it's in its entirety anyway. So we generally do full coverage as much as we can, brings the sound right down, and it's bloody lovely. The second layer, which is the van liner, is classed as a sound absorption and a thermal absorption layer, and that is a closed cell foam. You can get it in different thicknesses. Generally in the bundle it's about 6 or 7mm. Oh, all of these products are self-adhesive, by the way. Well, the hex and the liner are self-adhesive. So that's peel the backing off, stick it on once it's cut to shape. So the van liner is a 6, 7, even up to 15 or even 30 if you can find it, close cell foam layer, and it's generally got like a foil back on it, so it bounces heat back into the vehicle. And what that does is absorbs different frequencies of sound, and it helps absorb heat from the outside, or at least barrier the outside heat from coming in. So in terms of sound deadening, you've got 2 layers. Oh, there we go. Warren's in. He's seen the people in there. He said, don't be afraid to say hi when you're into peeps. Yes, so whilst I'm answering questions, by the way, let's just pause that Dodo question for a second. If you're new, please feel free to say who you are, what van you drive, where you come from, have you worked on your van this weekend, or have you been away camping in this weekend? That's what the comments are for. We love reading them out, and we love all sharing that together. And what you're drinking. This is generally what we do. So if you've been watching since the beginning, or you're just watching now and you'd love to be shouted out, you want comments, please go down into the comment section. Let me know who you are, where you're from, what van you've got, if or not, or what van you want, and then we can go and read you out later. Right, back to the Dodo. So hex mat, that is a sound deadener, and it reduces vibrations within the larger panels and some of the smaller panels. But you get 3 types of noise within your van. You get mechanical noise, you get road noise, and you just get atmospheric noise. So the road noise from the wheels and tires, you get the panels booming, and then also you get outside noises as well. So you use the sound deadener and the van liner to absorb that sound or stop that sound, deaden, Dodo deaden the sound. And then the middle layer is that van liner. That does 2 jobs, kind of deadens the panel and absorbs the heat or different temperatures or temperature differences. And then in between those sound deadening layers and van liner layers, you fill the voids of the van with thermo fleece, and then that just creates that barrier in between as insulation, much like loft insulation. And that's kind of what we do. That's in the side panels and generally the same in the ceiling. On the floor, we use a product called Deaden Duo. That is Dodo and van liner combined in one sandwich layer, and you generally lay that on the floor. It's a wicked product, pardon me, and we use that under all our flooring systems. I hope that helps. If I can add just a little bit, there is a just as effective but slightly less efficient and much cheaper version called Dodo. Oh my gosh, my brain's just gone blank. Oh my gosh, somebody help me in the comments. This is when I shout at my wife. Dom, yeah. What's the alternative that we put in your van for Dodo? Dead Easy, of course. Should have. Anyway, so the Dead Easy products are a cheaper alternative. So the slightly thinner layers, but if you're on a budget or you want a quick build, they're really, really good and still hold the same properties as the regular Dodo range. There we go. I hope that helps. Gosh, that was a long answer, wasn't it? But again, this is what these are for. I've not done this in a while. I feel you all deserve longer, long form answers. I hope that helps. And there's 42 of you. Hello, all 42 of you in there. If you have just joined, we are 18 minutes into a 1 hour live video. In this, myself, Leigh, who is the host of Combe Valley Campers YouTube, and I convert vans for Combe Valley Campers. I answer your questions regarding camper van conversions and all things camper vans. So if you're in, there's 45 of you. If you're in, say hi, who you are, where you're from, what van you've got, if you've worked on it or travelled in it this weekend. I'll shout it out, and then we can just join in the chat. And also what you're drinking. We've got Thatcher's Haze here today, so cheers everybody. Right, on to the next question and all the other comments. Also, there's 43 of you in right now. I'm going to ask you, we've done 2 pretty comprehensive answers. If any of you have found this helpful, or if anybody of you fancy forwarding this live on to one of your friends, if you've got people who are converting vans, please feel free to share this video right now. Share the link. Also, what helps is if you give this a thumbs up. Somewhere on the screen around here is a tab. You open it up and you can give it a thumbs up. There's 42 of you in right now. If you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already, give it a thumbs up. That'd be super, super helpful for me. Thank you so much. Right, let's go. Right, so that question that I've just answered was from Julian Martin. Next is from John Sear. He says, has there been any progress with developing a double-seat swivel for a Mark III Citroen Dispatch / Peugeot Expert / Vivaro / Toyota Pro Ace Fiat Scudo? Short answer, no, but that's only because I haven't checked up recently, so I will check up in the next week. Miriam says, great answer, thank you. That was for the previous answer about ply. Steve Quilliam. I'm sorry if I've spelled that wrong or said that wrong. Hi Leigh, any tips for how to install the VW angle brackets for the rear panel clips that aren't in a panel van? Rivet. Short term, you could use just a self-tapping screw, but long term, you could use a rivet. If you want it to be super secure, use a riv nut and maybe an Allen-headed bolt. So what Stephen is talking about is if you are converting a panel van to, let's say, a Combe or a day van, the panels that are over the rear wheel arches, they have all the holes in place, bar two on the C-pillar. And what they are in, they almost look aftermarket. They're little right angle brackets that VW pop in with some rivets on that panel. If you are wondering about the location and how far or where to actually put them, I would suggest you pop the panels onto the ply first, not onto the bodywork, onto the ply first, off of that ply panel, up into place, and then find a way to mark where those holes are to your best efforts. Then you can drill and rivet, or you can tech screw, because it's only a locating right angle bracket for a panel clip for a ply panel. So I hope that helps. Renee says, we may take our van to South Africa where roads are generally suspect and we plan to go on dirt roads, not 4x4. What would be a good suspension conversion, not looking for fancy rims and tyres, or rims or tyres? What van is it you have exactly? I don't know if you spoke about it. If it's a VW Transporter, the best people to speak to about suspension is actually Transporter HQ. They've got different setups for different people, be it slightly lifted. The lift suspension kit we put on the 2KT5, that was the 35mm lift kit from Transporter HQ. No, Heritage Parts Centre, I would really rate that, but Transporter HQ do an alternative. But if it's general advice regarding suspension, Andy at Transporter HQ or one of his team would be a fantastic resource to get a decent answer for it. All right. Warren says, yeah, we caught that before. Don't be afraid to say hi when you enter, peeps. Absolutely. Tony says, 41 people here now. Marcus says, hi, Warren and guys. Warren says, hi, Marcus. Goggy Motivate says, oh, I figured out the leak problem I was having in the footwell of the passenger door. And you'll never guess what it was. Please tell all. Ham Radio Mobile says, can you put the liner on the vertical pillars so when the ply gets screwed into the van, it acts like a seal? Is this okay? The liner, the van liner? Yes, absolutely, if you wanted to. In reality, there are no rules. When it comes to converting your van, there are no rules. There aren't. We give advice and we suggest things that we have done in the past that work. But in reality, there are no rules for this. You can do lots of research and do what you feel is best for you once you've got all the information from different places, or you can just have a bit of trial and error. So yes, of course, if you wanted to put a liner around all the gaps of the ply panels, then please do, because that would create a seal. However, I don't know how much difference that would make. If you've carpeted the metalwork and the ply, they kind of seal themselves anyway. And in reality, you want the inner structure of the van to breathe. You don't want to seal it all up entirely, because if you get moisture in there, it will never come back out again. So I would also, lastly, if you put the van liner in between the ply and the metalwork, you might have trouble finding a clip that pushes all the way home with all of those layers of carpet and ply and van liner. So there you go. Marcus says dead easy. James says dead easy. Yes, thank you very much. Renee says we fitted the Dodo kit from you guys. Works well. Thank you very much. John Sear says the Dodo hex mat also blocks some of the sound from inside your van being heard outside. Oh yeah, winky smiley. Goggy says filth around the door handles from the aphids. Sticky sweet pea. Toothbrush with washing up liquid and elbow grease. Fixed it. Well, there you go. James says, do you still use the thermo liner with a dead easy? Yes, there's a dead easy thermoliner as well. And I think that's in the video where Dommy did Bullet and we used their products there. By the way, let me just pause for 1 second. We've not been on lives for like 3-4 months, maybe even 6 months. And there's 41 of you in here right now. So thank you. This is really, really cool. And 18 thumbs up. There's still not 41 thumbs up. In fact, there's 47 of you right now. Good evening, all 47 of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're here, please give us a thumbs up. It really, really helps. How fantastic is this? This is awesome. This is a real cool end to my weekend. I said I'd talk about this earlier. This weekend, I have been on an off-grid camp with 2 of my good friends, Warren and Tony. They're in the chat right now. One is lost in the VW, the other is Silver Fox Builds. We took a trip to the border of Wales, to a campsite I can't quite remember the name of. It's Nash something. Guys, leave it down below. So, bearing in mind, Tony's from up north, Warren's from Reading, and I'm from down in the southeast near Hastings. We all came together, found a minimal location, mutual location, and all met up there. And it was bloody brilliant. This campsite we chose to do, let's see if somebody's put it down below. Nash Oakland Wild Camping. There we go. Kieran Hewins. There we go. Kieran Hewins has answered that. Thank you so much, Kieran. It's a completely off-grid location. Like there's nothing there apart from beautiful fields, beautiful woods, the rolling countryside, and you turn up, you're greeted by the wonderful people that run the place, and they just go, yeah, we'll go here. And you're left to your own devices. There's no water, there's no ablutions, there's no hookup. There is just the environment that you're in. And we have just come back from the most wonderful weekend, all 3 of us. Please keep an eye on our social media in the coming days and weeks, where I'll be sharing some of those photos, sharing some of those reels. And as adults, it's just nice, right? If we can take a step out from our normal day to day. And I've not said men or women, I've said us as people in general. We have to sometimes step out of the norm and just get away from it all. There was barely even any signal there. So to be able to disappear for a weekend with a couple of friends who've been meaning to catch up and camp for weeks and months and years, to actually get there and camp. Oh. And it was super cheap as well. If you want to go there, check it out. Nash Oakland Wild Camping. Check it out. It's brilliant. And the fact that the weekend had the most mild weather. It wasn't rainy. It wasn't really sunny. It was proper British grey, but it was just mild a weekend and it was bloody brilliant. So thank you, Tony. Thank you, Warren. Thank you to my wife for letting me go play for the weekend. We had an amazing weekend. So yes, get up there. On my way there, bearing in mind, I did some maintenance on my van, Bully, the blue T25 that you may know of. On the way there, the night before, I had one of my guys, Ross, thank you, Ross, and his mate, James. We all converged into the workshop the night before to repair my diesel heater, to repack the front wheel bearings. What else did we do? Did an oil service and fitted a new headlight loom from Radar Automotive. We were up until 2 in the morning getting it fixed, and the van was running beautifully. It was only when we were about 35 miles, I think, away from camp, Bully lost 3rd gear. Just bang, gone. I've got reverse, 1st, 2nd, and 4th. 3rd left the chat. However, I just thought, F this, I'm getting to camp. So we continued to camp and had an amazing weekend. So I was a bit uneasy for the weekend, and I was like, do I just ring recovery now, or do I see how far I can drive back? Anyway, Bully's just driven all the way back, nearly 250 miles, without a hitch. I just had to relearn how to drive using 1st, 2nd, and 4th gear, which he handled pretty well. So a little bit of a downer on that weekend, but I've already sorted out a gearbox. It's nice to know people. So yeah, there we go. That was my weekend. Cheers. Cheers to Warren. Cheers to Tony. Cheers to my wife. Cheers to my friends for helping me. You're all legends. Right. Let's get back to the questions. Gosh, here we go. You guys have been busy. Thank you so much. Right, there's nearly 50 of you. So please do get in the comments. Who are you? Where you're from? What van do you drive? Let's get it up there. Okay. Daniel Noble's in. Good evening. He says, hey up. Hey up, Dan. How you doing, my man? Scotty T78. Can I use a solar panel to trickle charge the main van battery? My battery seems to die after 2 weeks of no use. The van battery is not connected to any additional power in the van as I use a power bank. Yes, you can. You can use little portable systems that unfold, go on your dash, and then can either plug into your cigar lighter or you can run the leads round to your battery to just trickle charge them. I believe they're pretty cheap. I've not needed one before, not used one, but if there is something draining your battery, have a quick look on YouTube and look for parasitic drain. And there's lots of brilliant, simple tutorials on YouTube on how to find what's called a parasitic drain on your battery, because that might help you more long-term than just a plug-in solar panel. Alternatively, get one of those little lithium-ion battery jump packs. Keep it in your glove box at all times. They're fantastic. Marcus Harris says, James, there's a kit on the webpage with Dead Easy. Yes. Gary Plumley says, I'm away right now. Gary Plumley, where are you? Let me know. Is it a good location? Doodle Sparkle says, hi from Sussex. I've got a Honda Stepwagon camper conversion. Good evening, Doodle Sparkle. Thank you very much for joining in and saying hello. Gary Plumley says, Central Wales. It's not actually in Wales. The farm is bordering Wales. Apparently we're on the English side and the farm is on whatever. But yes, very, very, very cool place. Kieran Hewen says, hello, we are Kieran and Catherine watching in Lincolnshire. Good evening. And we have been subscribed for a few months. We have a 2013 XRAC called Wilma. Good evening, Kieran and Catherine. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. I hope the videos have helped. Mac and Hoth says, hi Lee, I've got a T25 panel van. Good lad. Or lady. Sorry, Mac and Hoth. That could be just a username. So, very nice. I have had a panel van or two. I'm drinking stout. Nice work. I heard that you want airflow, so fitting the fleece was a bad idea for rust and mold. What's your opinion? Yes, you want airflow, which is why I don't fit vapor barrier. But the fleece is a good idea because obviously you've got a barrier then between potentially colder areas of the van and the inside of the van. Yes, you want things to breathe. But it's much like your attic. The fleece itself is really loose. It's a tight knit so it doesn't fluff up, but it's very loose. And if I had some here, I'd show you. You'll have to go back and watch some of our videos on how it works or what it looks like. But it's very permeable. It breathes very easily. And also it's made out of waterproof material. It's effectively recycled plastic bottle. So it's it doesn't get damp, it doesn't soak up anything, and it is breathable. But no, I don't put in a vapor barrier because you're right, these areas need to breathe. Miriam Evans says, any links to bespoke Hexaply removable kitchen workstation that can fit in the Ivano drawer? No, but we can make you one. And if that's something you want, we can offer it to you. The only Hexaply removable kitchen workstation I know of is from Van Gear, and they're really, really cool. We have one of them in the showroom. Yes, we're building a showroom. It's really cool. We have an Ivano in the showroom. We have a Van Gear pod in Hexaply in the showroom. I haven't put the two together actually, so maybe message us in the week and we will put the two together and see what they look like. But they're the only people who I know who are making a Hexaply removable kitchen workstation for now. But if you want one made, give us a shout. Kieran's come back. Kieran Hewins says, we wish all companies were as honest and as methodical as you guys, as we have been stung a few times looking for a reliable and reputable company near us. Hopefully the latest is a lot more reliable. I hope so too, Kieran. Thank you very much for the kind words. I appreciate that. We just love what we do. And we've been screwed in the past with other things, and we don't want to screw anybody else. So thank you very much. I really appreciate your comments. Stu Gardner says, hi Lee, love watching your vids. Currently have a T5.1 of 5 years. Looking to sell to get a crafter. So as you can imagine, I'm watching many a video on self-conversion, including yours. Nice work, man. We want to build a big van very soon, but more news on that coming up. Steve Quilliam says, thanks, Leigh, much appreciated. You are more than much appreciated. You are more than welcome, Stephen. Andrew Thompson, he says, we are currently sourcing a T6.1 panel van to convert and are undecided whether to have a pop top fitted or not. It will be used for weekends and replacing one of our cars. Having a pop top is an expensive thing to do, especially if you're undecided. What I would suggest you do is buy a panel van first. Don't even convert it properly, but get a couple of vitals. My vitals are a heater, a compressor type cool box or fridge, and an awning. If you have a source of heat, you have a source of keeping your beers cold, and you have a form of shelter, then you can figure out the rest over time. Don't go straight in, right, and go, yes, we need a pop top, because you might not want one, you might not need one. You might find you've got all the space you need in the van and out over time without having to spend anywhere between $2,000 and $7,000 on a roof. So just get the van, just start using it, just start traveling in it, and see where you go from there. Chris Wood, hi all. I have a question about T6.1 van floor, just starting a new conversion after changing from a T4. If we install a solid oak floor, do we need to lay ply floor first or just the battens to level? That is next week's video, Chris. We are fitting a floor system. We have made a CNC cut floor infill for a T5, T6 short wheelbase. Long wheelbase is coming. And then we have a 12mm or a 9mm ply floor with an oak laminate on top. So it's still your solid ply floor with an oak laminate on top. That is next week's video. A little bit of a teaser in there. But have a look at that first before you make any hard and firm decision. All right. Adventure Van Life's come in with a question that says, what's been the most challenging camper van you've ever built and why? Cheeky. It's definitely going to be yours, and I cannot wait to tell people more and more about it. But yes, we have been asked to build a van not only that needs to get to the Arctic Circle, but also to Morocco in basically the same trip. So we have not only a very high spec list, but also have to build a van that was once an ambulance, which comes with its own problems. And then it has to be able to survive and be able to live in environments of -40, and then survive and you'll be able to live in environments of +40. So yeah, it comes with some challenges, but it's a very fun and enjoyable build. The only other van that was really difficult to build before then was probably my wife's, because she's quite selective. Anyway, Renee says, thanks, Leigh. Great DIY videos and information you guys provided. You are more than welcome. Thank you so much. Marcus is in, says, hi, Paul. Adore89 says, hi, Leigh. Any recommendations for a rail system for a VW T6.1 for a sliding bed? Many thanks, Paul. Have a look at UAO's, not latest video, but one before. So UAO, Urban Arc Overland on YouTube. You might already follow him. If you don't, do. He's one of my friends and a favourite on YouTube. Very honest guy. He's doing some really cool things with his latest van. And he's just highlighted and shown how he's put in a sliding bed system. Go and take a look. There's lots of alternatives, but if you want real-time sort of footage and review on the products, go and have a look at Urban Arc Overlands. Cheers. Right, God, my gosh, there's 57 of you. Thank you so much. Right, all 57 of you. We are 2/3 of the way through this video. My name's Leigh. This is the Combe Valley Campers YouTube channel. We are doing a live, like we should do every Sunday, but there's been a huge delay. I'm here to answer your questions about all things camper conversions, camper vans, travel, life, YouTube, whatever. Please feel free to ask questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. If you are here, if it's your first time, please comment down below. Even if it's just a little wave, comment down below and say who you are, where you're from, what van you drive, what camper you drive, where you've just been. Have you worked on your van this weekend? Hands up right now. Hands up in the comments right now. Have you been working on your conversion this weekend? Now, go. James Brownlee. Is it worth putting in a diesel heater in my T4? 100% yes. 100%. Like I just said earlier, three main things I would say in your van, if you're new to the van game or You just need some vitals in your van, even before you put in a leisure battery system, even before you put lights in, because all of those things can be bought in time. But to make your experience of being in a van more comfortable, a heater to keep warm, a fridge, like a compressor fridge, like the Boo fridges, the compressor fridges or the cool boxes. You need to keep your beers cold and your milk from going sour and your butter from melting. Heater, fridge, and then a canopy. It's like an awning. We do Fiamma. Our friends at Camper Van Culture do ARB. That's all you need. You can build from there, okay? You can build from there. Yes, put in a diesel heater. Goody, username Goody, says, evening. Evening, how you doing? Steve Quilliam's back, says, Is it possible to install LED spotlights and USB charging port into the back of my Combe without putting in a full leisure battery system? Yes, absolutely. You can wire the system straight into your battery. I would suggest you potentially take a main live feed from your main battery, fit in a secondary fuse panel, much like a 6-gang or a 12-gang, under the seat, like driver's seat or passenger seat, and then run some accessories from there, okay? So a main live near your main battery with a fuse, run down to under one of your seats, then that will have, let's say, a 6 or 12-gang fuse panel, and then you can run accessories from there. The only thing is you'll have to remember to turn them off because otherwise it will drain your main battery, okay? And then you won't be able to start it in the morning. But yes, entirely possible. John Sear says, question for Dommy. When is the next Campers and Coffee? Dommy, she might come in. Dommy, come in. Dommy, who wants to see Dommy? Hands up. Oh, Magnus Kelly has given us a thumbs up. Luke Appleby says, Wales. Yeah, Wales. Right, Kieran Hewins says, any recommendations for a wiggly sliding door handle on a T5.1? Right, Dommy's here. Come here.
Hold on.
Come here. I'll move the camera around.
No.
Wiggly door handle on a T5.1 2013. For a start, have a look at some YouTube videos. Secondly, they're all plastic, right? And a 2013's now over 10 years old. So it might have a part broken in it, or it might just need tightening. Replacements are cheap. I'd suggest you just go to a VW dealer, if possible, to buy a genuine door handle that will last longer than a repro one. And normally you can slide the key out if you have a key in that sliding door handle, slide the key barrel assembly out and pop it in a new one. But yeah, it may just need tightening up. It may be broken. If you do buy a replacement, spend another tenner and go and get a genuine one from VW. I would recommend. Kieran Hewins, come round here, for goodness sake. Right, here's Dommy. Right, say hello, everybody. There she is. Right, when is the next Campers and Coffee?
So we've got one in December, 14th of December.
So our winter Christmas one, Saturday 14th of December, is our Christmas special. That's being held down in Hastings at the Stade. Unfortunately, it's all sold out. However, that's all sold out for parking. However, it's in a public place.
Yep.
So if you wanted to come down and say hello, then it's free to enter. But all the parking spaces for Campers and Coffee Christmas have now gone.
But there's lots of parking anyway.
Lots of parking locally in Hastings.
And you can join us for a cruise after.
Yes, absolutely.
And then...
For next year...
7th of June.
7th of June, at the same place we normally have.
Yeah, and then...
And then the September one...
It's the second week of September. The 12th, the 13th and 14th.
13th and 14th. So there you go. December, July... Sorry, June, July? June and September. There you go. But we have a separate website for Campers and Coffee. Thank you, Dommy. We have a separate website from Campers and Coffee, campersandcoffee.co.uk. Head down there. Book your tickets, because they will go. Gosh, there are comments aplenty. This is amazing. Thank you so much. We're still 50 of you in. Can I ask if you found any of this information useful and or entertaining, or you just like being here, and you haven't done already, please give us a thumbs up. It really, really, really helps. Thanks so much. Where are we? What's your view on vapor barrier? I'm confused. Bernie Forshaw says. Bernie. Vapor barrier in camper vans, there are arguments for and against. Okay, I totally understand that. It's for and against. I don't like a vapor barrier in a van because I believe that you are potentially blocking whatever moisture you'll get within the barrier, or within the outside skin of the van and the inside skin of the van, let's call it your ply panels. You could potentially trap moisture in that. And really, you need the whole van and the whole situation to breathe. Like I said, there are arguments for and there are arguments against. I hear them all. However, in my experience, VW never put vapor barrier in there. Most camper van conversions don't. And you can trap water and moisture within those areas. Now, at the end of the day, if you're in a van conversion, you're in a metal box. There's going to be vapor somewhere. There's going to be condensation somewhere. All right, you're never going to be able to eliminate it. You are never going to be able to fill all the voids, and you're never going to eliminate all condensation. In reality, you are in a metal box that you and your family, your partner, you and your dog are going to be breathing in living in, and sweating in, perspiring in. There's going to be condensation. There may be some areas of metal that would accumulate condensation on them. The best thing you can do is coat as many panels as you can with a form of sound deadening or thermal insulation, because that is your vapor barrier, so to speak. You are stopping vapor from condensing onto that cold metal panel. I think maybe that's where the confusion lies. You're stopping, if you're adding layers onto the metal being the outside surface, there will be thermal, brain's gone. You don't want the thermal transfer through from the outside to the inside. So if you can stop that with a barrier of deadening, thermoliner, wood even, you've got to stop that barrier, and you've got to stop areas of metal having water or moisture condense on them. Vapor barrier, I'm not a big fan of for those reasons. But at the end of the day, there's no big red book of guidelines. You do whatever you please in that sense. If you go out for a winter's camping and you find the place is just wet and damp, get it fixed for next season. There's lots of different things you can do. Okay. I hope that helps. James says, have you still got the 2K T5? Yes, we do. There's a long story on that. I've discussed it before on the lives. Basically, long story short, 2K T5 broke down bad. We went to Poland last Christmas. Gearbox blew up. I've got a track record with gearboxes now. Gearbox blew up. It got repatriated to the UK. We had a big plan. Tear the engine out, tear the gearbox out, get it all sorted, put it back in, film everything. We started that. We started filming it. We tore the engine out. We tore the gearbox out, found a replacement gearbox, went to put it back in together. 2024 happened. But it's coming back, and we'll discuss that another day. Promise. Motivate. What happened to your diesel heater? You only just fitted it, right? No, we fitted it like 18 months ago, and we've had lots and lots and lots of very, very heavy rain in East Sussex. I think that might have been the problem with it, but I'll leave it up to the makers to decide. We may send that back. But yes, there was a fault with one of our diesel heaters. It was underslung. They recommend in every situation you mount it internally. I didn't have the space at the time. I mounted it externally. I think water might have got into it, but that's my bad. Ham Radio Mobile. Is it a big job to upgrade the headlights on a 2017 T6? Not really. There are plenty of YouTube tutorials out there. In fact, we uprated the headlights on our T6.1, and there's a video coming up shortly. Goody says, my third gear in my T4 went 3 weeks ago. Gosh, look at that. I'm so behind on the comments. Yeah, it's daft, isn't it? But yes, I think I've got another gearbox lined up. Andrew Vicker says, hi Leigh, just a thanks for the helpful vids, upgrading my T5 from the trusty camp bed. Good stuff. Stove and plenty of surfboards for the North Coast winter missions, currently drinking Tennants. Good stuff. Yes, we're on the cider. Right, for those, let's just stop there real quick. Let's go back to the beginning. There's 58 of you now. I know there's some people left, some people joined. It's very, very good to see you all. My name's Leigh. This is the Combe Valley Campers live Q&A session. I'm your host. How's it going? I answer your questions. If you are new here and you've never commented before, you've never seen us before, what we like to do is get to know you. Leave your name, your location or whereabouts you are, if you've got a van, if you've been camping this weekend, if you've been working on your camper conversion this weekend. And I've now got to just catch up with the comments, okay? So, cheers, I'm drinking Thatcher's Haze. Can you believe we only do this for an hour and we're already 50 minutes in? This has got to be the quickest it's ever gone for me. Right, Andrew Vickers says, highly, oh, we've done that one. Tony says, at Scotty T78, look at the CTEC D250 SE, limited to 300 watt solar, but I'm 99% sure it maintains both your vehicle and leisure batteries. Goody says, I'm from Oxford. Thank you, Goody. Marcus Harris says, about to drink Wiscombe Park. Suey cider, 8% cider. Gosh, Marcus, you're definitely on a week off, aren't you, my man? Enjoy it. Ham Radio Mobile says, Duncan, VW Transporter 2017. He's called Marconi and we are north of Aberdeen. My gosh, we've got people from far and wide today. This is fantastic. Thank you so much for tuning in. Goody says, been working on T4s for 10 years now. Kevin Kelleher. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. Hi, Kevin here from Cork. Nice to see you. Thank you so much, Kevin, for tuning in. Julian Martin said, isn't the closed cell foam a vapor barrier? Question mark. Don't berate me, but I have a long wheelbase Ferrari. Yes, as I discussed earlier, yes, it is a kind of vapor barrier because you're using something like a closed cell foam to prevent vapor from condensing on the panel. What I meant by, in my head when people say vapor barrier, what they mean is they will just completely seal off the outer and inner skin with a non-permeable barrier like a plastic, and I don't see the point in that because I feel the van needs to breathe. But thank you. Marion says, thanks, I'll get in touch. And Julian, I don't berate. I love everybody's input and I hope to give decent feedback. So there we go. Doodle Spark says, I have a Fiamma F45S on my step wagon. Is this too heavy for this? Has it screwed to the roof? Can I have a roof rack? Can't have a roof rack as I have a pop top. Look into that. There's lots of different options for Fiamma in terms of mounting and things like that. If you want some more advice outside of this chat where I could give you a really comprehensive answer, please feel free to email us info@coombeValleyCampers.co.uk, okay? Ham Radio says, are there any heaters that don't have to be plumbed into your fuel line? Yes, of course. You don't have to plumb any of the heaters into your fuel line. A lot of these heaters, we advocate, fit, install, sell Autoterm planar heaters. And as an option, you can choose to have a separate diesel tank. You can mount it wherever in your van, as long as you locate it properly and as per the guidelines and fitting instructions. You could fit a diesel heater to a petrol van. You just have a standalone diesel tank. Okay. Tony says, 55 in the chat. Introduce yourself, guys. Say hi. Thank you, Tony, so much. Yes. Again, if you're here, say hi. Give us a wave. Give us a thumbs up. This all helps. Goody says, at Ham Radio. Yes, there is. Kevin says, I can't seem to convince my wife to try out a camper. I purchased a T6 with a view to converting. My wife says it's a no-no if you can't stand up in it. I think now I get a bigger van. I tell you what, why don't you, if possible, bearing in mind it's off season, why don't you go away for the weekend in a converted rental van? There's lots of T5, T6s with pop tops that you can rent. If your wife's if you can maybe suggest to your partner that, why don't we just go away for one night, 2 nights maybe in this van? If you absolutely hate it, then of course we'll get rid of the van and get a bigger one. However, they might come around to the idea because they're nice and cozy and cute. Who knows? Tubby Trial Team says, I have. Good evening, Tubby Trial Team. Thanks for tuning in. Goody, I have lived full time in my short wheelbase T4 for 8 years. Good stuff, man. Rene Pretorius has got a nice pink wave. Thank you so much. John Sears says, waiting on parts to arrive for my van. Rene's also said, only recently got my T6.1. Why do other VW owners keep waving at us? Because you're a VW person now. It's a thing. VW owners wave at VW owners for the most part. If you're in a T6.1, count yourself lucky because they're normally ones that get excluded or at least ignored because people think they're builders vans. And that's me being honest. We have a T6.1. and sometimes you just don't get waves. Nick Phillips says, hi, I'm Nick from the Midlands. I inherited a 2045 short wheelbase with 1.9 and in the new year looking to start with a full DIY conversion and also film it all for YouTube. Your videos have helped me, or helped the inspiration. Well done, Nick. Nice work. Yes, follow the videos and see how you get on. Right, we have, I mean, I might have to extend this, but in our hour allocation that I generally give myself, I've only got 5 minutes, so I've got to get going on. Doodle Sparkle's giving us a thumbs up. Ryan Birch says, just got a T5. I plan to do all the work, but want full off-grid electrics. I want a professional to do the work. At what point do I need to get the wiring done? Generally, if you can get the wiring done early. However, if you don't know your design, you don't know your requirements, maybe just very basically convert your van in a very basic manner. Use it for a season, and then you can figure out what you need, where you want your fridge, where you want your lights, where you want your USB points, where you want your heater. Then and only then, you can actually have a loom built. You can have all the designs in your head all you like. But if you convert your van to an idea of the van you want, and then go out in it and realise it doesn't work, then you have to do it all again. So I suggest you buy your van before you actually convert it, take a season to get out travelling, see what you think. Not a patch on Arundale. I'm Patrick from Kent. I want to buy a first van, a T25. I've only got 2 to 3k. What would your suggestions be? Not really worked on engines before. Key things to look for, things that can be done later. Keep your eye on the classifieds. Christmas time and New Year is the best time to buy a van. 2 to 3k may be enough. Buy the best you can afford. Don't buy the first you see. Don't go in there with your rose-tinted glasses. I would suggest a diesel van because they're more reliable than the petrols, especially a 2 to 3k van. 2 to 3k petrol vans have normally been left to rot under a hedge or not being kept very well. So if you've only got 2 to 3k, scour the ads every day, look at all the different ad sites and everything else. And also when you're looking for one, take somebody who knows what they're looking at because Type 25s are quite niche. All right, so give it a go. John Sears says, thank you, Tommy. Tubby Trial Team says, had a T5 28 for years. Just bought a T6.1. Bit disappointed that the VW can't sound in a new van. Done the cab floor, still got to do the rear, but lost in too many insulation products for the best job. Well, we've just done a VW on the T6.1, and yes, there were some cost cuttings involved. We've just had a brand new last of the production line T6.1 in, and yeah, they're not as well built as the T5s from back in the day, in my opinion. Andy Mullins says, hi, don't watch streams ever, but want to take the opportunity to thank you for your brilliant videos on doing a van conversion. Armed with your knowledge, my first camper turned out great. Thanks, Andy. Well done, and thank you so much for watching, and also thank you so much for joining in today. Tony says, thermal bridging. That's the word I was looking for, thermal bridging. Rich Index says, saw you at Dub Farm again. Van looked absolutely nuts. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, that was Dommy's van. We took Dommy's van to Dub Farm, and it was really, really cool. Ham Radio says, hit that like button, folks. Thank you very much. Goody says, I put my Eberspacher D2 outside under the van in an aluminium box, been fine for 4 years. Excellent stuff. Well done. James says, opinion on skylights, roof vents on a T5. Absolutely. Depends on what roof you want to go for. There's lots of different options. You can have a 300 by 300 or a 200 by 300, a 400 by 400. You can go as big as a 700 by 500 that opens. You can have a Max air fan with a fan in it. You can buy a Fiamma with a fan in it. Shop around, have a look. It all depends on budget, all depends on space and requirements. You might even just want one of those little fans that spin on the roof just to get a bit of ventilation, but take a look around. That's the sort of thing we will have in our showroom moving forward. So thank you very much for suggesting that sort of comment and question. John Sear says, all van types, models and makes are welcome here. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's camper vans. It's not just vans or VWs, for sure. Mr. Paul Tracy, Manchester, Renault Traffic Sport. Good evening, Mr. Paul Tracy. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's nearly 9 o'clock. My gosh. Normally we do 8 till 9. If you're new here and you're just watching, we normally do 8 till 9. This has been amazing. People coming back. It's fantastic. Goody says, I use 50mm and 50mm Celotex. Good idea. Nice work. Doodle Sparkle says, thanks, will do. Motivate says, I got a letter from VW in the post the other week, they're asking all T5 and T6 owners to bring them in for software update. I assume to comply with impacts pollution. I hear it's not good for, I don't know. I don't know. I've not heard that before, but I may look into it. Leslie says, hello, when are the other vids coming for the T6.1? Making into a camper van, please. I've just got my van and I'm following these. They're coming out shortly. I covered this at the beginning of the video. Yes, we know we've been behind. We know they've stopped. We have had a very, very, very busy, let's call it Q3, shall we? Third quarter of the year post-summer. It's been the most nuts. It's made me pull, I had a full head of hair in June. I'm joking. But yes, it's been a really, really, really busy and full-on year. So the videos have taken their toll. We are a workshop first, YouTube channel second. So sometimes it gets bumped down the list. But my apologies. They have been filmed and they are coming. Marcus Harris says, Autoterm even do a fully self-contained diesel heater which sits outside the van. Absolutely. Motivate says the engine and ultimately builds up with diesel soot and destroys the engine. What to do? Has this happened in the UK yet? I'm in Germany. Again, I'm not too sure. I've not heard of this yet. You were the first person who has raised that issue to me. We are over an hour. This is unheard of. Thank you so much. Dommy's in the background saying, keep going, keep going. Yes, there's lots of comments that I'm yet to pick up on. So absolutely. I can't believe my wife's shouting me instructions from the other room. Yeah, that is Dommy, who's seen in all the videos. Right, where are we? Marcus Harris, Marcus Harris said, SK, good evening. What's the best way to upgrade leisure battery on a 1990 Westy Kelly? I have 2 Bluetti power stations and portable solar. Should I upgrade DC to DC, and can the battery be lithium? No solar, yes, on the roof. Right. You need to potentially look at Campervan Culture. They have just brought out a lithium battery that fits in a regular place on a T25. Oh, you're a 1990. Please clarify if that's a T4 or T25. But yes, going back to my previous, Campervan Culture have just released a battery that fit under the seat in a Type 25 lithium. I think it's a 90, maybe even a 75 amp hour lithium battery power cell. It fits in a standard place, so that's really, really cool. If it's a T4, you can use a DC to DC and upgrade to lithium. If you have 2 Bluetti power stations, of course you can use those. Upgrading to DC DC is a very clean way of upgrading your normal split charge system, and you're kind of future-proofing your van as well. And it's a better system if you're upgrading to be lithium also. It's a pure charge into... My head's now a little bit frazzled after an hour of this. I'd love to be able to talk about the DC to DC and the lithium benefits a bit more now. But if you want a more comprehensive answer, have a chat or email, info@campervancampers.co.uk. Failing that, have a look back at some of our previous videos with James from Rain Automotive. We talk about different types of batteries, different types of solar, different types of charger, and he can clear that up. Failing that, if you want to contact James directly, have a look at rainautomotive.co.uk. He is your man. Julian Martin says, with the panels where you can't get insulation, have you ever used expanding foam? And if not, is there a reason? Blasphemy, Julian. I never use expanding foam. You should never use expanding foam in a van because you can never get it out. Again, we went over this earlier. At the end of the day, in a van, you are living in a metal box. You're never going to completely get away from condensation in the van. You could never fill every void in a van. You can insulate the van and sound deaden the van to a point, but if you can't then squeeze any more insulation in, put in a heater, put in a second heater, buy an electric blanket, get some roof vents, because really it's the air circulation thing that's going to help with that condensation and airflow better. If you're building a motorhome or a caravan, if you're one of these big motorvan or caravan manufacturers, there are rules and regulations. That means you need a floor vent and a roof vent so that air flows. With campervan conversion, especially self-build campervan conversion, there aren't those rules and regulations and stipulations. But much like your house, if you've got damp in a house, you open a window. You know, you've got to think of it in that situation. Never use expanding foam in a van. I certainly wouldn't, and I certainly wouldn't recommend it because it's just not a great idea. But you can rip up that thermo. If you were intent on filling in all those little voids, you can rip up the thermo fleece into smaller bits and then prod it in all the holes. How's that? Rick Nichols says, hi, I've got a T25 and your heater van replacement video was a gift send. Mate, I really enjoyed doing the Type 25 videos, and there are more coming moving forward. And I'm glad you've had benefit from them. Richard from Wakefield, Leeds, got a 1.9 DG T25 panel van during COVID. Loads of Type 25 questions today. Just before the price spike. Still going on project, but almost done now. Just the rear to weld up, paint and simple interior. Well, congratulations. Any Type 25 is an ongoing saga. But what they do love more than anything is being used. I use my bully every day, and it's still going strong. With some maintenance. 65 minutes in, people. Right, I'm going to give this to 80 minutes, okay? Yeah, so that's 20 past 9, and then I'm going to have to call it because I've still got an evening to have. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. There's still 48 of you. This is just nuts. Thank you so much. What a comeback to the lives. It's been brilliant. Fun Times RC. Paul from Coventry purchased some of your guys' 4-way stretch carpet and just wanted to say how happy I was with the product. Great quality and easy to work with for my first time. You are more than welcome, Fun Times RC. Paul from Coventry. I hope it helped. And thank you so much for purchasing it. Urban Arc Overland, he says, yo, did you get your tables? I don't know. I wasn't here on Friday. I'm so sorry. I will have to double check with the guys tomorrow. I was speaking about you earlier, Aidan, by the way. Somebody asked about a video about sliding beds, and I recommended you immediately. Urban Arc Overland. Big pardon? We got the tables. Tommy's just shouted out from the other room, we got the tables on Friday. So, yes, we did. Thank you so much, my man. Urban Arc Overland's tables we now have in stock. So if you want one, you can order from us, or you can pick one up from the showroom. Yep, that's right. We're building a showroom, and we're going to have an Urban Arc Overland table on display, on a tyre, on the showroom floor. Oh, it's all coming together. Thank you, Aidan. Oh, Marcus Harris has all said we sure did. Brilliant. SK, Type 25. Oh, T25, Leigh. Yeah, so hopefully I answered that question. Lithium battery. Have a chat with Campfire Culture. There we go. We've been over an hour, and now we're starting to get the people in who aren't campervan people. The first one of these comments is by Uriah Cleveland, or Uriah Cleveland. Says, go to bed, Gramps. Thank you very much. Ham Radio Mobile, great in. Great stream, have to go, but all the best from moi and Marconi, the radio van. Nice to meet you too, my man. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yes, we are going to give ourselves 13 more minutes before another Uriah Cleveland tells me to go to bed, Gramps. I'm 40, fuck's sake. Anyway, Cool Whip is in. Cool Whip's in the house. Hi, Leigh, hope you're well. Anthony from Cool Whip tuning in. Thank you so much. Julian says, is that really the same can of Thatcher Haze you started with, or is Dommy taking the empties away behind the scenes and giving you a new one? No, we've done that much talking in the last 68 minutes. I've barely had a time to drink it, but it's lovely to have you notice these things. What are you drinking? Leslie says, thank you. SK says, Leigh, best headlamp upgrade for a T25 Cali. If you don't already have square headlamps, which being a 1990, I'm sure you do, keep the square headlamps. I've literally just upgraded my headlamp wiring loom. So uprated headlamp wiring loom. I used Osram Nightbreaker dipped beam bulbs. I used some LED sidelight bulbs and some, they were off-brand inner full beam bulbs, but they all had the same, if not similar, Kelvin number. They were all 6,000 Kelvin, so they all kind of matched, and they were more of a white-blue light. But with the uprated wiring loom and new bulbs, killer move. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, great upgrade. Message me or email me. You can get the upgraded loom from Campervan Culture as well, actually. So you're looking for Type 25 headlamp wiring upgrade kit. He sells the bulbs with it as well, but if you want to look around and get all your bulbs matching, have a look for like a 6K, 6,000 Kelvin colour rating on your bulbs to get them all matched. Right, 10 more minutes. This has been the greatest. Thank you so much, everybody. Steve Quilliam says, I've fitted out a few vans now on my drive. How would you recommend to go into it full time and be fully qualified to do all things camper related? What's your background? Fully qualified. I don't know of any qualifications you can do for converting camper vans other than time served and experience, but you can obviously do electrics and gas certifications, etc., etc. And you can train in specific kit. Like you can be trained in heaters, you can be trained with fitting roofs, you can be trained with fitting beds, etc., etc. My background is I'm ex-military. I'm an ex-Royal Signal soldier. I was an operator and a technician. So before I even knew it, I was off-grid, or what they class as off-grid now. Since I was 16 through to 24, I was living in the backs of vehicles, operating high voltage equipment and sensitive equipment, maintaining trucks, repairing trucks, etc., etc. I then moved from that into engineering. I worked in a high voltage industry for 5 years. So I was working at power stations and substations. I was Part P qualified for a time. I then moved into a couple of little bitty jobs. I then started working at a camper conversion place. Then did a more local job when my kids were born so I could be close to the home. And then when I finished that, I was like, now or never, let's do camper van conversion. It's as easy or as hard as you want to make it, really. I started off very, very small. I started the business on 250 quid 9 years ago this February. Or 9 years ago in the February up and coming. And it's just time served. You know, I've converted hundreds of vans now, worked on thousands of vans. And through that, through the YouTube and through my life experience and my base knowledge of VWs, I've been into VW since I was this big, tiny weeny boy. And I've been reading Volkswagen magazine and forums for my entire life. So yeah, lots of time served experience, not only serving in the military, traveling overseas, high voltage background, electrician background, etc., etc. So that's what makes me. Doodle Sparkle, you're 10 years younger than me. What does that make me? Old? Yeah, I know, right? Motivate, what happened with this diesel heater module that you can send an SMS to, switched on remotely? I can speak with you later about that. Yes, it's available. Yes, we're fitting it to Dommy's van. John Sear says, Leigh, have you quit vaping? No, I just don't quit vaping I just don't vape on screen. I'll have a drink on screen, but I won't vape on screen. Goody says, good quality live, and have a fantastic rest of the evening. Thank you so much for joining us. SKSK says, thanks, Leigh. Great podcast. I guess it is a podcast this evening. Goggy, did you ever remember to send those edge rubber trims? No. Message me tomorrow personally and we'll send the edge rubber trims. Right, very, very quickly. Who's seen this? This is our new Julia tool. And it's a tool to help you fit invisible trim clips into your ply panels. Isn't that cool? Very, very cool thing. They're now on the website, but I got my batch this weekend. My friend Warren printed all of these for me and they're on their way. They'll be shipped out tomorrow. Go onto the website. It's just a very simple 3D, it's not simple, but it's a 3D printed tool that helps you, you pop in your invisible trim clip in the end and then you screw it into the panel. Saves your fingers. And also a bit show and tell. Look what I earned myself the other day. That is a Decker, a Spartan Decker medal. I've been getting up on my fitness lately and I just wanted to show that. I was very proud of it and I did a Decker strong time of 19 minutes. There we go. Right. Steve Quilliam, sorry, still getting that wrong, says, cheers, Leigh. Great way to spend a Sunday evening before going back to work tomorrow. Thank you very much, and that's why we do this. Absolutely love spending time with you guys on a Sunday evening, and let's keep this going, shall we? Right, we've got 6 more minutes to go. If you've got any more questions or comments, please feel free to get down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this live, please give us a thumbs up. If you've enjoyed any of our videos, please share the videos, the link to Combe Valley Canvas YouTube with your friends. It really, really helps us as a channel. We are getting back into YouTube strong next year. And I'm talking, we are going to give you some content next year. I've been saying it for a couple of years. Like, we're going to bring back YouTube. We are going to bring back the podcast, and we're going to grow everything. I cannot wait to bring it all to you guys. Like, doing something like this evening with you fine people has just given me even more motivation, because you absolutely love the stuff we do with you. And we know it's very valuable to you as well. And if I can do more lives, if I can do solo content for you guys, if we could have one-on-ones, maybe organise one-on-ones, if somebody just wants a bit of time with me, just ask them some questions, no matter how good, bad or ugly those questions are, then we're in a safe space to be able to ask them. We're going to do more of that moving forward, okay? I cannot wait to spend more time with you guys, creating more content for you guys. It's been my dream for a couple of years now to just concentrate more on the content, and it's coming. All right, so everybody asking, you haven't finished the project yet. The 2K T5's not here. Where's Bully? Where's the Beetle? Where's the Bay? Dominic's fan's not finished yet. I know. Customers' work has taken priority, and always will do. All right, it always will take priority, because you've got to pay the bills. You've got to pay the boys. That all takes priority. We're changing things moving forward, all right? And I cannot wait to bring you more content. It's going to be amazing. So yeah. Right, cheers Leigh, great way to spend Sunday evening. Yep, Malcolm Channel says, hi Leigh, love the vids, Red Transit. Hope the police keep you along a couple of weeks ago. Yep, if that's local, I don't know. Urban Arc Overland says, have a good evening, pal, catch up in the week. Yes, please, my man, please do. Fun Times RC, all the blisters I could have prevented. Yes, absolutely. Motivate, Deca means 10 in Greek. Correct. Deca is an exercise competition, and you have 10 classes to go, 10 disciplines or 10 stations that you have to finish. Have a look. Spartan Deca, they're on Instagram. It's really, really good fun. But because they've given you a medal with only a third in it, you can obviously complete the trifecta, which is now something I think I have to do. Anyway, Urban Arc Overland says, everyone, press the 3 dots in the corner and give it a like. The little emojis in the corner do not help as much. Yes, please do. 42 of you left. There's 3 more minutes left of this live tonight. If you get the opportunity, 3 yellow dots in the corner, whichever corner it might be. The screen you can see and the screen I can see is slightly different. So 3 dots, give it a thumbs up or a like. Please do. That's amazing. John Sear says, I was going to ask, have you just done a High Rocks type thing? Yes, so Deca is an alternative to High Rocks, but I might move into High Rocks moving forward. John Sear says, when his Bully getting his bodywork done next year, and again, that's going to be a series of videos we're going to do as well. Paul McTracy, Chinese diesel heater, yes or no? Hell no! If you value your life and your family's life, spend the extra money, you won't be disappointed. We exclusively use Autoterm planar diesel heaters, and they're plug and play. They're awesome. Don't go Chinese diesel heater, please. If the product's that bad, of course it's going to have a Facebook group of people telling you how to repair it, because it's crap. Please don't do that. Gary Plumley, great to see you back. 50 plus must be a record. Do you know what? It really is. It's really, really cool. Thank you so much for everybody. SKSK says, best tool for grinding out seam rash. Cutting out the panel and starting again is the best way of eradicating rust. Alternatively, you can sandblast in those seams. If you grind out the rust out of seam rash, you're effectively picking a plaster and then sticking some paint back on. Ideally, if you want to get rid of it forever, maybe sandblast in there, get some proper seam sealer in there, or remove the panel, remove the rust, cut out the rust, blah, 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 put it back in again. So there we go. Right, we're going to wind down. Thank you so, so much, everybody, for being here. Maybe I'll finish this Thatcher's tin at some stage. What an evening. What an evening. What a weekend. I've been camping all weekend with some good friends, had a fantastic time. Come home to my girls, come home to my family. Done the live this evening. 80 minutes worth. With a peak of, I don't know how many followers at one point. Brilliant. Absolutely bloody brilliant. So if you want to say goodbye, please go down below. And well, John Sears says briefly hit 60 tonight. Yeah, please do go down below, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, leave a like. It's been fantastic to spend time with you this evening. Thank you so much, everybody. Last few comments. Goggy says, thank you so much for doing these live videos, dude. Much appreciated. James says, are you going to sell the file for the 3D printed tool? No. We're going to sell them to you fine people. We've already sold a ton of them. But yes, we were very kindly gifted that for people to benefit from. John Sears says, briefly hit 60 tonight. Tony has given us a thumbs up. Lovely to see you all weekend, Tony. It's been an absolute pleasure. Absolutely love spending time with you, and Warren, of course. SKSK says, good night, mate. Good night. James says, thanks, Leigh. Have a good week. Thank you. Chris Wood says, cheers, Leigh. Thank you, everybody. That's it. We are at 80 minutes. You are all wonderful people for hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to need a bit of a break after this. It's been non-stop, isn't it? It's been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And yeah, if you like this video, it will be available to watch back on YouTube later on this evening, if not tomorrow morning. So please feel free to give it a share. Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll see you next time. Good night. See you next Sunday. When I can turn it off. There we go. Bye, everyone.